Hi guys, it's me, Suze. It's 9:59. I'm getting ready to go to Journalism Academy. I wasn't online today, but I can see that it wasn't a really good day and that maybe I might be the subject of Academy tonight. So I thought we'd open with this song. Bring Psalm 91 into my heart. Like I told you guys from the start, I had a mission when I came here. It is love, light, and truth. And we now sit on 2 complete years that I've been online. The phenomena began at 11:45 p.m. on the 31st of August in the year 2014. The vibe is exactly the same today. Here we sit on an eclipse, and online we've seen the attacks that are going on, and it is a natural result of everybody's true natures being exposed, is all I can say. So there's so much false ego and so much anger and so much confusion, and I just pray that this helps end those days and that we can go forward in the right way. So enjoy the night. Here we go. Song. Hello, hello. Hello. So it's a couple minutes after 10. No big deal. Hi guys. It's me, Suze, the holistic stylist, coming to you with a special message that unfortunately I'm the only one that can deliver. And what this has to do with what's going on behind the scenes at the Conscious Consumers Network and what I've witnessed firsthand. So let's go back to the beginning. I did my first show with Randy Moggins on December 9th. 2015, and we immediately bonded because there was a reason for the connection before that show, and it goes all the way back to the beginning of the phenomenon. I have spoke to that on Sophia's Emporium, but for those of you that don't know, Randy was one of the first subscribers to my YouTube channel before I ever even knew who he was. And so the first question that people have about me is, how in the world could I be in this position and know nothing about the computer and have no footprint And of course all these things are documented at Sue's Pratt on YouTube. So anyhow, Randy was already broadcasting with the Conscious Consumers Network, and I was so excited to be on the network, I mean just as a guest, and I thought their clothes were cool. I thought they had a great cause, and so I did invest in some clothing, and that was the first time that I actually had Mel Ve reach out to me and ask me if I would like to broadcast, because I had been such a generous benefactor, you know, purchasing all these clothes. And of course, with me already understanding my message that I was to come and deliver, it seemed like a great opportunity, which it totally has been, to broadcast on a network and come into a group of people that are trying to do their best to bring a message that they believe in to the world. So I began broadcasting early on in January of 2016, and by the end of, I guess it was the end of February or early March, it was really pretty cool. Mel and Biggie decided to create a journalism academy, and so Elise Diablon and myself would be the first two people to go through this innovative new concept. And as someone that had spoken publicly my whole life, it was very natural for me to start speaking to people back when I first spoke out on the slaying of Michael Brown here in Ferguson, Missouri. So I have a million subjects and a wide range of topics and a lot of real life experience. Now, the phenomena that I referred to, the people involved with that told me every word that I typed would be searched, get to type and tell my story. That's what I've been doing ever since. And of course, my message from the start has been to really try to get people to be completely aware that all of our vibrations are being read on planet and off planet. Everybody knows our intentions, and I was to bring this message. So, the idea behind the Academy, that it would teach me to get around the computer and learn to work with iMovie, and a web page would be created for me. So it was really an honor, and I needed a web page. And of course, I do trust people completely, and I can love unconditionally. So I accepted the idea that it would honestly, sincerely cost someone like me $3,000 to have a web page built. So I gave a donation to the Conscious Consumers Network of $3,000 to Biggie Boho to build me a website. Journalism Academy was $250, and we were, like I said, to learn a lot of things. Now, of course, Elise Diablon has been a broadcaster. You know, she has a long running knowledge of this field as well as Mel. And so we were learning how to make iMovies when the descent that started to befall when broadcasters started dropping off. That's really what we talked about in Academy. I'm going to say after the first 3 or 4 sessions. And like I've said publicly and to Mel and anyone that knows me, I'm going to stick to subjects I know, stay on the path, and not really get involved in the chaos. So naturally, Academy turned into something like I remember out of high school, where the mean girls are poking on people, and of course I had nothing to say. Now, when you have 3 women sitting around telling their most deepest secrets, if you say, well, don't tell anybody, I mean, my goodness, like I said, back to the computer, the astral realm knows. You don't need to tell anybody. There are no secrets. And we are creating our own reality. And these are all my beliefs through experience of the life I have lived. That's why I do a lot of life charting as well. So, back to the Academy experience. It was odd. I had disclosed the way that I telepathically learned, as well as explaining to people that I had a mission and a particular job. So early on, as the discussing of Lisa and Danny and Kevin and Ned and some other guy, this was before the Randy thing happened, I completely said I don't want to interview anyone that I don't personally know, and I could do book reports for the next 10 years and connect dots for people and bring things to light. That was the first time that I didn't do what I was told to do, and through my life that's happened to me continually, where I have brought myself out of the box that people wanted to shove me in. And naturally, coming into this as someone that would share their experience with that, just this very day, publicly it was disclosed and discussed by Mel and Z that maybe to talk about your own experiences now, almost arrogant in the sense that you want to make it all about you, or me to make it all about me, for example. But of course that was never the intention either, and so I see where it's easy to be afraid of what I bring, or to be angry at what I bring. But here again, I'm bringing it in love, and I have nothing bad to say. What I really want is what anyone would want. So after investing $3,000 in a web page, I would like to have control of that page and be able to navigate it just as well as my webmaster, and have a team of people here on the ground in St. Louis that can help build an expanded system, and we can serve more people. We can create groups on the ground that can help one another, which has been my intention from the start. Another thing to talk about at this point is the idea that from the beginning of my journey on Facebook, I didn't do what the other people did, which is you follow somebody, you get into somebody's stuff, you study it forever. I didn't need to do that because I came self-educated into it. So the original question to my character was, is Suze Pratt a data hacker? And of course, you know, I'm telling people for real, I've never even been on the computer. I can't find my email and I don't know my password. So the information that I was keying in tagged into the collective of people that were also sending that message. And that's why timelines are so very important, because they prove and validate and confirm this phenomenon progress. And I'm really a spiritual researcher versus a journalist, I've found out. I love to write. I love to speak to my friends, and I love to share information. But as we're seeing now, the same problems that have befallen mainstream media are here in the alternative movement. And of course this would be true because we follow the Hermetic law, as above, so below. And these things are playing out here on the physical realm, as well as the etheric and astral realms. I'm sure it drives people crazy that my story would illustrate the sadness of a life and document the journey. So say, for example, what's going on now with what they call this witch hunt for Zen. This is why I disclosed all of my stories from the go, because I knew that we all come here to be judged and crucified. And of course, throughout my life, even my oldest daughter, who is now crucified and disowned me, and part of this huge phenomenon of us all coming back together, when she was younger, she begged me not to tell my story. And she said that somebody would want to hurt me and come for me. And of course, she did a self-fulfilling prophecy, because surely that's what I've experienced since the shift, since May 31st, 2012. Now, something interesting is that I have been discouraged multiple times by Mel to not give my personal information. And like I've said many times to Mel and to everyone else, this is what my job is. This is what they needed me to do. I know it is not the normal way. You see, if someone like me had a fancy background, or if I was well known, or if I had paid my dues and come up through the ranks and been involved in all the bullshit y'all have been in, then surely someone would want to interview me. But you guys already know, and I've already disclosed. Nobody knows me. I'm a nobody. I came out of left field. Naturally, that makes people really nervous. And another part of what is going on that I've witnessed in Journalism Academy. Now, of course, Mel has written that piece of work, Dragonology, which is fine work. But the communication, for example, that she's given to Elise is that there's these negative energies attacking her. And used the words that represent that, and bless her heart, that's spell casting. And see, she doesn't even know, because that's part of her program. We all have a program. We are all supposed to accept this and go on and love one another and expand into some kind of new consciousness that is already here. This is why so many of the people that have been around on the World Wide Web since the go seem to now be at the end of their time with that. Granted, this summer will become, they say it will come to be known as the summer of the Great Blackout. This is where all the alternative media people bowed out. And I must also witness to the fact that, because I know more insider information than most people would think I know that the people that left backed out slow because they knew it was a very volatile, possibly dangerous situation that they were in. It's funny I stayed through the whole summer, isn't it? And in the end,
you came from really far away.
I needed to be able
with me?
To deal with this, conquer it, bring about a solution with a loving response. And so, for example, today, when Mel interviewed Z, that was when Z disclosed an unnamed person who had been involved in the original study group that Randy Moggins brought together. Z never knew me. And so when he said today that at the time Randy was putting out some kind of, demonic vibes so Z couldn't tune in on me, that was not what happened. And Monday night on Journalism Academy, when the whole Z factor came up, I did say to Mel, I was actually there. So this was back at the end of February, and they had brought together a discussion group. In my mind, it was to tackle these larger problems that we're all facing. Where today, Z shared that they were actually trying to build a communal community. I never knew that. I was there for 3 of those comings together, and what I witnessed was someone that really did want to control the group as if it were something to be owned, and that was not Randy, even though Randy brought the group together. So this is what I observed. I observed a wild, chaotic energy that attacked the masculine side of us as well as the feminine. And of course, I never judge, and I kept attending. But the one thing about me, guys, is everything I do is by an appointment book. So the original group gatherings were on Saturday, like Z confirmed today. And then he moved it to Tuesdays, which I honestly couldn't participate. Now, at that time he didn't care because he had no interest in me per se, like he confessed. And it wasn't until later on that he needed to double back and try to figure out who I am, who's Sue's, what's her purpose. Well, anybody that can't feel it obviously doesn't know. And that's tough. But anyhow, when Z did contact me months later, of course, because I love everybody, I did absolutely agree to meet him in a Zoom room one-on-one. And when I went in there, his purpose was to get me back into the group. And I politely explained why that was not feasible. I also explained the idea that there's been a lot of people that have wanted me to follow them around or get involved in their cause. And that was never my job from the go. I was to keep involved on my own journey. So, everything that is honest and truthful is beautiful. And so this is what I witnessed to you this evening about. Now, when I was in that Zoom room, I didn't have a problem with knowing that there were two other voices in the background. But, you know, when you say you want to meet one-on-one, but there's quiet little voices in the background, I just want the world to know that I did know that there were two people listening in, and that's cool too. After we had that interaction in the Zoom room, I remember Z's birthday coming up, and I did wish him a happy birthday. That I wish all my friends a happy birthday. And that is, happy anniversary of the day you took your first breath on planet Earth this time. So, when I sent that greeting, he sent me back a terse remark, and we can surely go back into the Facebook and find that. But what I said was honest and true. And the comment that he made after Randy spoke to him about not offending my spirit was that I am bulletproof. Now, here's the secret, guys. I'm not bulletproof. I am infallible. I'm not perfect, and I've been witnessing to that. But here's the truth about it, is that every word has been loving and healing. So, as I go forward in this, this is the hardest part, because here's what I know that nobody knows I know. And so I'm telling you now, before shit hits the fan, to validate it. Randy, okay, let me put it to you this way, okay? Hey, Mel and Biggie, you didn't know that I knew that Randy told me that when he talked to you guys, he had to put you in check and tell you, don't screw Suze, or you'll have hell to pay. Now today, Z basically accused Randy Moggins of threatening him with death. Now see, this is where the drama's coming in. And of course, here again, I know that I'm already resented, because there's people that really know what I'm about. And I'll tell you what, it's interesting how people that have been in this business their whole life, say for example, one night at Academy, Mel, you said to me that I've been around the block a few times. You've also said to me that I don't have that same sweet, loving spirit that Elise does, and that Elise is very innocent. But you see, I was innocent to the game you guys were playing. And you guys knew that from the go.
Y'all ready?
And even though you had no hard feelings for me, I was just a financial gain. And I really thought you guys knew my higher purpose, and you allowed me to give 100% of myself. And I'll continue to do that if I am allowed to broadcast on Saturday. Because even though I'm nobody, I am a professional. And this arises in me in everything I do. I never sold out to a corporation. I never was a member of any cult. I have no religion. I am spiritual. I'm the first one to talk about the battle between the forces of dark and light. So, I do see the spell y'all are casting, and I know you guys are coming for me. But love and light always wins. So, all I want is what you want. The freedom to create the way you want. You don't want anybody to be your pimp and govern your webpage. And you surely would be heartbroken if in the end the truth would come out that you would actually steal someone's identity to profit for cash. Now, as you can see, and as I've documented, I went to Journalism Academy tonight, and nobody had the courage to show up. I truly was off of Facebook today because I serve clientele. So yes, I was working today. My life doesn't revolve around this lower game. It's about what's really going on inside of me. And this is a sacred evening. This is the second complete year online. And I'm getting ready to experience the time of the phenomenon. So, I just wanted to make this short testimonial and witness. The other thing that I will say is I'm a cop's daughter. And so, I grew up with the good cop, bad cop story, and I always knew about it. And I love you both, but it's amazing that, say, for example, you told me in the beginning, Mel, you don't watch all the shows, you're too busy. You'll only read the articles. Just Monday night on Academy, you told me that you watch my show every week and eat Ben & Jerry's. If you had watched all my shows, you'd know who I am and you would trust me because I have been true to everyone. Here again, when one loves unconditionally, it does not give someone else the right to disrespect or abuse them in any manner. And I know you don't mean to do it. I know what you've been through, and I honor your experience. Now, of course, Biggie was the good cop and built me up and told me show after show I'm getting better and better and more confident in how much Academy has paid off. Here again, I came in with that confidence. The difference is that I had a piece of shit computer, an old Dell, so my reception wasn't too good. I didn't know how to use this movie camera yet, which now I have. And now I have a new Apple computer. So, I will say that my accomplishments are mine. They are not yours. And, of course, you and I, Biggie, used to talk quite a bit. We had a few minutes before the shows, but now I'm wedged in so tight between two broadcasters that you don't have time to talk to me anymore, nor teach me to do the things that was on your end of the deal, which is learn my files, learn the computers, learn how to make my Dropbox not full, And I totally get why you guys' chaos needs to come before my business. And that's why I sincerely hope that you will turn over my identity, my webpage, to me, and you are still welcome to be involved. But I can't be the little peon at the bottom. I never could. And I don't need to pay somebody $100 to get a message out that I was doing fine on YouTube. So between the $500 close, $3,000 at Academy, and 8 months of this, I've invested over $4,000, and I don't want to be treated like I'm doing anything out of line. I want the common respect that the other professionals theoretically give each other. I'm so tired of people knowing that they create the reality. So if you focus on negative, you're creating negative. And innocently enough, that's what's happened. But here again, I had nothing to do with it. I'm the girl that's been brought in to shed the light in the dark corners. And so with that, as always, I say peace, love, and light from the big yellow house on the third cosmic ray.